Today, the unemployment rate hit the highest point since the Great Depression. What is the president's plan to get this country out of this ditch?
And I can tell you this, the president that got us to the hottest economy in modern history, he's done it once, and he can do it again.
What's the plan?
We're going to work with Congress. We're going to come up with hopefully a phase 4. We encourage the House to maybe reconvene soon. It would be helpful if Nancy Pelosi was here.
Can I ask one more? Larry Kudlow said today that negotiations on the next stimulus are at a lull right now. Given where the numbers are in unemployment, from your perspective, from the White House perspective, why is it at a lull right now?
Well, look, I think Nancy Pelosi should explore coming back and having the House come back and having those discussions. We know the Senate is here. I think it's important for us to move and look at a phase 4. The president thinks so too. So those negotiations will happen, but a big part of that is, we need the House. We need Nancy Pelosi to come back from California and get to Washington, D.C. and to work for the American people. Yeah.
Thank you. Why should the average American whose workplace doesn't have access to these rapid tests feel comfortable going to work if the White House isn't even safe for people?
Well, look, this individual, there is a member of the vice president's team who is positive for coronavirus. We have put in place the guidelines that our experts have put forward to keep this building safe, which means contact tracing, all of the recommended guidelines we have for businesses that have essential workers, we're now putting in place here in the White House. So as America reopens safely, the White House is continuing to operate safely. In December 2016, Flynn spoke as the incoming national security advisor to the Russian ambassador. I actually just spoke with Dr. Birx about this. She is going to be working and consulting as to where this drug should go. She's the person who's constantly reviewing the numbers, constantly reviewing the data. I'm in task force with her every day, and she really has the best grasp as to how that should be distributed. So she will be one of the chief consultants as to how that drug is distributed, which I would note 1.5 million vials donated by Gilead. We're so thankful for that. This drug is promising, and we want to get it to the American people and to the areas that need it most. Ganesh?
I think so.
Department of Justice about their intent to interview Flynn, despite their own attorney at the FBI saying, if we usually tell the White House, then I think we need to do what we normally do. I would ask you, what's the definition of CDC guidelines? Is it something that the CDC director has actually seen? I would endeavor to say yes. Is it something that a rogue CDC employee leaks to you guys? No, those aren't CDC guidelines. Those are guidelines in draft form that a rogue employee has given you for whatever personal reason they've decided to do that. Those guidelines are in the editing process. We want the American people to get as much information as they can possibly have at this time. That's why we have the phased reopening guidelines, the data-driven guidelines. Those CDC guidelines are going through an editing process, and when we have those, you guys will be the first to know that those transcripts were released yesterday.